Steven, you missed out on the green shirt memo. What's going on, man?
I honestly, the only shirt I have that's green has milk stain, like throw up baby stain on it. Welcome back. It is Steven here at the helm conducting this surf review. I'm super excited to be talking about the Rocket Wide. It is a shorter, wider, skatier craft that will do well in most small conditions. Stay tuned if you want to hear more.
My favorite thing to do, although I don't, I end up falling half the time, is I like to do a pre-claim if it's like a really good wave.
The saying is a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Daniel and I exchange that multiple times as waves come in. We're like, should we go on this one? And we say, well, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Do you end up going?
No, I usually wait for the second wave. So today we're talking about the Rocket Wide. Two of the three brothers have surfed it, and we've surfed it in traditional PU as well as Spine Tech.
Can you guess which of the three brothers have surfed it?
If you guess not Daniel. And I feel like we got some good details coming your way.
If Rocket Wide was an iPhone, then the Rocket Wide would be the iPhone 11. Give you an idea how many generations ago this came out. So something we should point out is that Channel Islands recently updated this with a new tail design, kind of like how an iPhone is updated to an S model. This is updated with a squash model. So it's the Rocket Wide squash. We should say that we haven't surfed that model, but if it's anything like the current model, it's something that we would definitely recommend. So the Rocket Wide's been around for a little while, and I remember when it first came out, I picked one up because at the time it was exactly what I was looking for: short and thick and wide, and essentially it was supposed to enable me to catch just about any wave regardless of the conditions. And I surfed it for the better part of a year and a half, and I picked it up in the 5'5" stock dims in Spine Tech. Now that was a few years ago, a few pounds lighter, so I was surfing closer to like 24.5 to maybe 25 liters for my volume. And now I'm closer to 27. So if I was to buy one today, I'd be looking at the 5'7" or maybe even the going with 5'6", 5'7", that range right there. In an odd way, it was like the precursor to the fish beard. It's got a really big swallow tail. It's got a high performance outline, even though it is wider and stockier. But when the fish beard came out, for whatever reason, I just had a connection with it right away. So I actually sold the Rocket Wide and then used that money to then purchase the fish beard. And obviously I loved the fish beard. I surfed the Rocket Wide with two different setups. The first one was a thruster with the black sticks, and that worked really well. It was very much like a traditional shortboard, but I still felt it was a little sticky at times. And after some research, I found the 2+1s, and that seemed to open it up, increase the speed, and really allowed me to punch the tail out when I wanted to. So out of the two setups, I definitely prefer the 2+1.
Very nice. What about you, Steve-O? What setup do you ride your Rocket Wide with?
Currently, I'm riding a 5'6" stock dimensions. It's like 27 point something liters. And it's a PU board that I found off Craigslist. The guy basically was
great deal.
He was literally giving me the board for nothing. Do I have time to tell a story or no? I don't know if it'll have time.
Probably won't make the cut, but you can.
I'll tell anyways. So I surfed it, and that was in August, and it's been awesome. I would almost call it a magic board. It's been so fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
My fins are also, I haven't even tried normal thruster, like the black sticks, because those are the ones that I have. I'm riding the 2+1 and I love it. I feel like it has really good, like it has carving in mind, when like it allows you to like do some really amazing carves, but it's also skaty. Like you can blow the tail out. At least it's felt that way for me. And it is such a fun board. I think maybe the only thing is it's limited when the surf gets bigger. Like I think it kind of taps out at like head high.
Right.
I think that when this board breaks, because I feel like it'll probably, break within the year, I'm gonna do like a spine tech version. But my only thing I'm thinking about is 5'7" or 5'6". I don't know if like an inch bigger would help it.
So it sounds like you guys have each had a well-rounded experience on the boards. I will say, Steve-O, you have caught fun waves when you've been surfing it, which is great.
Could he have been surfing any board and had a good time on it? That is the question, right?
No, I mean, obviously, sort of, yeah, but like this one feels good. It feels like
it looks good under your feet too.
It'll go where I want it to go. Put simply.
Yeah.
So for all surfboards that we review, we rate them on performance, fun, and value. Foot placement, and which you lean more front, neutral, back.
Yeah, I'm more front neutral.
Yeah, and I'm more neutral back.
So let's start off with performance. Let's go with Andrew, the OG on this board. What would you rate the board on performance?
Go 4 out of 5 for performance. It was a really fun board, especially with the 2+1 setup. Thruster was fun, but it wasn't anything special. As soon as you switch the fins, it was an awesome board. It doesn't hold all that well in larger surf that I'm in. It's 4 foot or less, so you could surf this board all the time. The only thing I liked better is the fish spirit, and we talked about that in another video. But as a runner up, this is an awesome board.
I would echo Andrew's sentiments, but I would bump it up 1/2 star. I would go 4.5, simply because in one of my surfs, it felt like I was a little undergunned, and I don't know if that's just the design of the board. Maybe my board's like a little older and more beat up, and it's a PU, but it does feel like it has a real size limitation where you are limited, in that regard.
I like having more board in the water, or more rail in the water, I guess, with how I surf. And the Rocket Wide feels short and stubby.
And that's what I love about it. I feel like I'm less of a rail. I'm not Andrew in the water. I like it. It feels like it can blow the tail. You can still carve on it, which is wonderful. But it feels like you can like really kick it out when you need it. It suits how I want to surf more, or it suits my surfing better than it suits your surfing.
Well, that's performance. What about fun? What would you guys give a rating, Steve-O?
5.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it. It feels like a magic board for me right now. Maybe it's because I've just been surfing boards that like don't work for me. And it's like the contrast of being like, oh, this board like actually suits you where the other boards haven't been. So it feels like I've found my long lost lover, and like we're hitting it off.
All right, Andrew?
If I had to give it a rating, I'd say 4. It allows me to surf in pretty much any of the like smaller conditions and catch waves. I just got some really great paddle power, which I appreciate. But again, I prefer more rail in the water. There's a limitation on size. So there's a couple things that limits my ability to have fun, I guess. I'd say 4 out of 5.
And then last step, value ratings. How would you guys rate the Rocket Wide for value?
Value on the Channel Islands website for a polyurethane PU surfboard, it's $525. I think for $525, that's a 5. I think that's a solid value for a brand new board.
That's a solid value no matter what, but especially if it's your long lost lover. I don't see how you can't give it a 5.
I agree.
Yeah, this is Steven's highest rating, I think.
I think so.
A 5 and a 5. That's a big deal. Almost a perfect score.
I don't vary much from like the middle very often, but when I do.
I think for me, so I had the Spine Tech, which we just looked it up. The Spine Tech comes in at 930. And I'll tell you what, like the durability of the Spine Tech and the performance and the weight and everything about it, I love Spine Tech. And as long as you have the right board, kind of similar to Daniel's Dark Arts, I think it's totally worth it. But it's a steep price to pay if you don't know that you like the board. So anyways, I would give it 4 out of 5 for value. I got some great use out of it, surfed it for a year and a half and sold it for about half the price that I paid. So Steven found his long lost lover and I found a great runner-up. That's our short-term and long-term review of the Rocket Wide. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you out in the water. Catch you later.
Great T-Swift reference. That was good.